It's over because like it had like 2 minutes left, and it's not bothering me if it just stops and we forget about it.
No, it'll restart and start another video.
I know that.
Androids are special like that.
Hang shy.
A transition is moving between one and the next. Gilbert. A transition is moving between one and the next. So a transitional species would be like an in-between species, somewhere in between the transition from going from fish to amphibian. So it should have some characteristics of both of them.
So in this situation, it would be a species going from lobe
Finned fishes.
to...
So going from fish
Oh.
to amphibian.
Oh, okay.
So we want something that's going to be right at that boundary where lobe-finned fishes are and where amphibians are. So
Well, where are the amphibians?
amphibians first appeared 363 million years ago.
Okay. I'm an amphibian.
So if it's after that,
You're an amphibian?
if it's 350 million years ago, amphibians are already there. Are we going to see that transition?
No.
If it's 390 million years ago,
What did you do?
no.
Racist computer, man.
Okay. If it's 390 million years ago, are we going to see amphibians?
No.
Yes.
Are we going to see anything looking like amphibians?
No.
No. So we're going to cross out 390.
You cross out everything.
What?
So we crossed out 390.
I don't get. What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
This is not part of the...
I'm not. It's the computer, child. Okay, so we can
You
cross
good?
out
I'm tired.
350. We can cross out 390.
Did
So
they
what's
hit
left?
them or what? Did they hit them? Because they just can't hear you, Gilberto. Oh, dang. Dang.
You're so smart.
I'm sorry, miss. Rigoberto, you need help, bro. You forget stuff too easy.
You
Dude,
gotta get Elgato.
bro.
Elgato to computer.
We should look at 370 million year old rocks.
We're still talking about rocks. I thought we were talking about the species.
Well, we're looking at fossils. So we're looking at rocks that are that old to see if we can find fossils. Because it's just before amphibians evolved. And therefore it would be something like, you could say something after that like, and so you should see the transition, or you should see the pre-amphibians, or the species that was in between fishes and amphibians. I'm nervous to write on here unless I have to, since everything keeps disappearing and reappearing on other slides. So.
Like the bottom half of amphibians evolved.
Yes, I have no clue where that went. I don't know how it's doing that or why.
It's racist because Lester's amphibian.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm moving on. So, you got 2 points, 1 point for selecting that it's 370 million years ago,
I said I was an
and
amphibian.
another point for saying that,
I said amphibious.
basically what we said.
Yeah.
Alright, so, B, describe 2 pieces of evidence provided by fossils of a transitional species that would support a hypothesis that amphibians evolved from lobe-finned fishes. So we need to figure out what would be a characteristic of a transitional species. What would you find in something that's going...
What the
Okay. Apparently we found out where everything else went.
Maybe I should leave and it'll stop doing that. Let's try it.
Oh, Lord.
It's not erasing.
It's not erasing.
I don't
It's
get.
possessed.
It's processed.
Okay,
It's
we're just
processed.
gonna write on the side. If this thing won't let me.
Are you like leaning your hand on the pad?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be able to do that. Okay, let's try now. Alright, so we're going from fish to amphibian.
There we go.
It really is possessed. So we're going from fish to amphibian. What do you have in fish that you don't have in amphibians?
Gills.
Okay, so we need to go from gills to what?
Mouths.
Respiratory?
Lungs?
Oh, lungs.
But do those fossilize well?
Oh, no. Fish got mouths too, right?
Gills don't fossilize well. They're soft tissue.
Oh, yeah.
What else?
I don't know.
The fins.
Yeah,
Fins. So we need to go from fins to what?
Legs.
To legs.
Limbs.
So we need something going
Go
from
from fins to limbs.
the transitional species.
I give it 5 seconds. Y'all gonna disappear on it. Yeah, I give it 6.
Maybe 2.5.
Don't encourage it.
I'll just put them all in.
Let's go. We do them all.
Adrian, you're being recorded online. Just no.
Well,
We all
whoever's watching, they can come too.
No.
They can all come.
We're gonna be famous.
Let's start
There
vlogging.
you go. In about 10 seconds, everything finna just go Houdini.
The transitional species
Somebody
should have something in between legs and
Sunset High
fins.
School, AP Bio, lit, AF.
That'd be cool if they see.
Hashtag mystery, hashtag awesome, hashtag best teacher in the world.
That'd be
Dude,
cool.
we should have done this as a recruiting video.
Hashtag Sunset.
That would have been nice.
I'm telling you, dog.
All right.
And then if we all
What
make
else?
Yeah.
We need another piece of
And we all gonna
evidence.
make
What else
five?
can we use?
Ain't no damn 5.
No, make a 5, but
Their tails?
Miss, do you think there's ever pills like
Dude.
ever be a pill to
We're
like
on.
stop you from having any sort of disease ever, or to give you a disease? Like, what if you say, I want to give you rabies, and you give them a pill that gives them rabies?
Child,
And
we
they die
have
on
40
rabies.
minutes to go over 5 more questions. Ask me later.
and each question is an hour and a half long.
It's 22 minutes long.
Same thing.
Tails to butts.
Tails to butts.
Butts don't fossilize.
They're skeletons?
Yeah, but
I was
butts
sick.
aren't
I better not put
bone.
my.
Not their butt skeleton, the whole body
That
skeleton.
little bone.
You have a
feel like
tail
little
bone.
in your
Bone
head.
inside,
He's a coon,
Yeah.
bro.
but things that aren't bone don't fossilize well.
What is it
And
called?
have a
Scumbag.
shorter
Like,
or no tail, or missing tail.
You're racist.
what?
You just called me a coon, bro.
I've seen a rat
What?
rabies before.
You call me a coon? What?
I didn't call you a coon. I called you a scumbag. That's different.
He called me a coon.
Yo, I don't even.
You're a fossil.
Worse yet, call them a transitional fossil.
This is like something that I watch in a
Transitional
movie.
You're a transgender fossil.
Alright, I'm gonna change it to the next slide.
Number 4.
Remember, you can always watch this on YouTube.
I feel like right.
It's gonna be on
I'm gonna go
YouTube.
home and watch it.
You're gonna read your comments, and all of us are gonna say the most racist class I've ever seen in my life. Cause he
No.
just called me a transgender, and I said that because I was black.
I don't know.
This is what I'm gonna use as proof in my insanity plea.
Look, teeth.
Okay, yeah, we can
Teeth?
say teeth
Fishes
because
have teeth, I
amphibians
didn't know
have
that.
teeth.
I don't know if fishes have teeth.
Sharks.
Nah, fishes have teeth. Like they look like real people teeth. You
No.
ever seen him
What
fish
the-
and open his mouth and he had teeth in his mouth?
I had a
Imagine-
goldfish in
imagine-
my
Anyway,
Imagine Nemo
we
with
talked
some
about
people
bones are
teeth.
specific skeletal structures, so legs, limbs, and
That's
digits.
fish.
Vertebrae. That's their back, isn't it? That's fine.
Which fish would you
Well-
do? Nemo or Dory?
They all have vertebrae. It might be the arrangement of the vertebrae that are a little different.
That don't remember
The
shit.
skull, so a fish would have like a flattened skull, whereas a frog might have.
Live YouTube.
That's not a
Live
good frog. That's a
YouTube.
dog.
Live
He's
YouTube.
smiling.
It looks like a T-Rex.
What are those?
That's
Those
like a
are
pee-pee.
heads.
That looked like one of the goldfish from the commercial.
Who's
The
a
snack
dinosaur?
that
Well, one
smiles
of them's
back.
supposed to be a fish, so.
Fish.
Interlocking ribs, I'm not 100% sure about that. And a flexible neck.
It's a giraffe.
Do humans have flexible necks?
Can you move your neck?
Something. I mean.
No.
Some humans don't got nicks.
We also said has traits of both the lobefin fish and the amphibian, so we said something in
He just did
between.
that shit, bro. I should have turned the camera to it.
Okay, that's That's where I wanted to go to this anyway, so it's a good thing this slide changed. All right. We did not get a chance to go over this, so let's talk about it now. Matter continuously cycles through an ecosystem. A simplified carbon cycle is depicted below. Identify the key metabolic processes for step 1. So step 1 is going from CO2 to organic molecules. What process takes in CO2 and spits out organic molecules? But we haven't gone over it.
I want to say it, but I don't want to get it wrong on camera.
Tell Gilbert to say it.
He said photosynthesis.
He's right, photosynthesis.
Yeah. Shut up. That was Lester Walton.
That's what I was finna say.
Oh no, because you a scumbag. You probably said it was your name.
What is scum?
All right,
What is
and the
scum?
key
What is
metabolic process for step 2. So step
Yeah,
2
but-
is going from organic molecules to CO2. So what do you guys think that is?
Isn't it respiratory?
Organic molecules to
Cell
what?
respiration.
Thanks for giving me a chance.
Oh
I
yeah, I
already
did.
said respiration.
Scumbag.
All right, so we need to identify them. We've already done that, but we'll need to write out an answer. And briefly explain how each process promotes movement of carbon through the carbon cycle. For each process, your explanation should focus on the role of energy in the movement of carbon. So let's talk about photosynthesis. So step
Is this what I
1,
told you, Gilbert? The
Is-
photosynthesis.
photosynthesis. What type of energy does photosynthesis use? Excellent.
AT.
It actually uses light energy.
Wow.
Light.
To fix carbon,
Wouldn't it still do the process of photosynthesis without light?
part of photosynthesis can happen without light. The dark reactions can, otherwise known as the carbon cycle, but they do need the products from the light reaction, so there does need to be light at some point.
Does it have to be sunlight? Oh.
Well, you call it also the process carbon fixation. So you could say to convert carbon dioxide into organic molecules. You could say to add carbon dioxide to other molecules to make sugars. You can phrase it a number of ways.
What, you don't like that?
Does it have to be sunlight, or can it be like the light have like how you have back there and that little thing?
An incubator?
It does not have to be sunlight. It just has to be light.
You know, when I was little, I thought the plants would die because at night, because they didn't have light. I thought they all died and then they.
When I was little, I wanted to be a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Zombie plants.
That's
I grew up.
All right. What about step 2?
What about it?
For cell respiration?
Mhm.
What that? I guess when they breathe out, too? But I put when they decompose when they die.
No.
That's
Cell
the one?
respiration is something we're all performing right now.
Breathing.
Taking in oxygen.
But when you die and you decompose, you let out carbon?
Yes.
So
The things that are decomposing you are taking in the sugars and proteins and everything that make up your body, and they're using it to perform cell respiration, which always produces CO2 as a byproduct. So, step 2 is cell respiration, which breaks down organic molecules.
Too bad I'll never decompose.
Why is that listed?
because he's going to be
Two.
cremated.
I'm
Release
immortal.
energy,
He's a god.
and you can put what
Right.
Lester said earlier, stored as ATP.
Yeah, power child.
I can't be
Release
killed.
energy and CO2.
I'm immortal.
I'm immoral.
I want to move into the woods.
I'm down.
7th period is gonna watch this and be like, what on earth?
Like just move into a cabin.
Hey, well, 7th period could go.
Dishes all day.
Go licking an acorn.
You're gonna jump in that water. You're gonna die by Jason.
Raphael,
They could go
Jason,
photosynthesis.
Ooh, photosynthesize their butt.
Get a shot and just.
Oh, so we get 3 points for this?
so 3 points for this, 1 point for identifying both things, and another point for talking about what it does with carbon. So photosynthesis fixes carbon dioxide
You
and
got
uses light energy. to make organic molecules. Cell respiration breaks down organic molecules, and that makes ATP and CO2.
So why do we get 1 point for identifying 2 things?
Probably because these questions
things,
are the 6-minute questions that are only worth 3 or 4 points. And since there's a part B, they wanted to make sure there were enough points to go around.
Hey, miss, you know what's messed up? People
Child,
donate
you're
blood for
online.
free and they make people pay for it.
Child, you're online.
Well, maybe I'll get my message across.
Don't use me as a platform.
But it's true, people donate blood for free and they go and charge little cancer kids for their surgeries.
That's because it's the surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they charge for the blood too.
Okay.
Hey, sunset.
It's called donation.
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Why would you
Sunset.
gonna, if you
Moving
donate
on.
It's voluntarily.
Hey.
What is an organism that
Sunset.
carries out both photosynthesis and cell
Is it a
respiration?
bacteria?
Wait,
The
wait.
aqua plant.
Aqua plant.
No.
Aquaman.
No.
No.
Algae.
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 There you go.
I said it
Algae.
first. Everybody else racist.
My homie went to an
Who
algae
said it
order.
first? Nah, they lying. YouTube. It was me.
Algae carry out both
Who
processes,
said that shit? How you gonna steal that from me?
and that's enough to give you a point.
You robbed
So
me
algae
of
does
mine.
both.
The
That's
camera
point.
heard you.
Plants
And then-
also do both.
Oh, yes, they really mad.
There are some protists that perform photosynthesis, they do both. Basically, if you do some type of photosynthesis or chemosynthesis, you automatically do both because everybody on the planet does cell respiration. Every living thing. Okay?
You're really bad for that.
Alright, number 5. The table shows the amino acid sequence of the carboxyl terminal segment of a conserved polypeptide from 4 different but related species. So, what it's saying is it's showing a segment of a
gateway drug.
conserved peptide. When something is conserved, especially in the evolutionary sense, that means it's kept around or kept the same. Like wildlife conservation, you're trying to keep wildlife populations the same, meaning keep them from decreasing. So these are 4 different but related species, which should be another clue that you're looking at something dealing with evolution. Each amino acid is represented by a 3-letter abbreviation, and the amino acid residues in the polypeptide chains are numbered from the amino end to the carboxyl end. Empty cells indicate no amino acid is present. Guys, what you mostly need to know from that is that they're showing you these amino acid sequences, and you should know from when we did this in class that you're looking to try and see how closely related species are. So it says, assuming that species 1 is the ancestral species of the group, so we're saying species 1 came first and gave rise to the other 3. Explain the most likely genetic change that produced the polypeptide in species 2, and the most likely genetic change that produced the polypeptide in species 3. So let's look at the differences between species 1 and 2.
I found my cologne.
Which amino acids are different between species 1 and 2?
Species 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
The number 4.
Well,
Number
same.
4 is a valine to lysine. Anything else?
Mm.
No.
No.
That's it.
Allah.
So, from species
My stomach hurts.
1 to species 2,
You go do it.
the amino acid
No, Medicare.
But isn't that the same as, like, the same image? You know how, like, it's like 3 drops in 1? It's not the same.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, do you have a trust in me? Yeah.
They don't give you the translation chart, so you won't have to be that specific. But you can probably find a point
Yo,
mutation
Lester,
that goes
what
from
the-
valine to
What do you
lysine.
say?
What kind of iPad? Oh, it's in
Okay.
The big ass
So,
one?
the amino acid
This one is fucking big.
at position 4 changed. Are you cursing in my video?
Yeah, no.
From valine to lysine. Do I need to know the full names of these amino acids? No.
Why's that supposed to be a bad thing?
Then, what's the difference between
Why is it bad?
1 and 3?
We live.
Very soft side.
Where?
So 3 has no amino acids after 8.
The dudes were in there.
So, from species,
You were told me to
Got a
get these like that.
girlfriend. Got a girlfriend, son. Look.
from species 1 to 3, there must have been a premature stop codon. At position 9. All right.
Bro, hell no, bro.
On my video.
Miss, cause like, no.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
would know, babe.
You a hell no.
You a hell no.
Okay.
Why don't y'all, they not? But that's what I do.
Okay, let's go on to the scoring guide. It does say for species 2 you have you can have a mutation, a substitution, etc. But the result was it changed only at position 4.
Watch the cheek.
So we would have need to have been more specific and say the exact type of mutation. And then for species 3, it says some type of nonsense mutation, like that has a stop codon after that last codon. So premature termination.
Oh my Jesus. You're Jesus?
All right. Let's look at B. Predict the effects of the mutation on the structure and function of the resulting protein in species 4 and justify your prediction. Let's look at what's different between species 1 and species 4. What do you see different?
In position 5,
All right, position 5 is different. What about position
6,
6?
7, 8, 9, and 10.
So, how many of the amino acids changed?
5.
6.
So, most of the amino acids change.
Bite it off. Just bite it.
So,
And
what do you think that's going to do to the structure? So, the primary,
It's in the car.
secondary, and tertiary protein structure will change.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't want to miss no more class.
Shit, they're like, hey.
Miss, it's over. The video's over.
I'm tired.
Unless somebody else stops.
You just got here. What?
Okay, so what does a change in structure do to the function?
Eyeballs.
I need a mic. I need
So do you think this protein will be able to do its job?
No.
Since so much of the structure has changed, the protein will likely not function.
You say what might not function or will not function?
Will likely not function. I mean, if only the first 4 amino acids are intact, that's like most of the rest of it is not there, so it's probably not going to function. Okay, so that being said, let's check us on the scoring guides. So, protein may have a different structure and a change in function. So, yeah, that kind of goes with what we said. Change in amino acid sequence of the protein starting at position 5 could alter the overall structure and could interfere with function of the protein. That's pretty much what we said. All right. We went over this after school in our review of the cell biology exam, but let's go ahead and go over it for you guys now. Alright, the following data were collected by observing subcellular structures of 3 different types of eukaryotic cells based on the analysis of the data. Identify a likely primary function of each cell type and explain how the data support the identification. So let's look at cell type X. What does it have a lot of? What does it not have any of or a little of?
Mitochondria has a lot of.
It has a lot of mitochondria, so that's something to pay attention to. Is there anything that it has that the other cells don't have or anything unusual? It has.
The cilia?
It has cilia and it has mitochondria. What do mitochondria do?
Energy. ATP?
Yep. So the mitochondria make energy. What do cilia do? What are cilia?
Every move.
It's actually more than a tail. It's a bunch of little tails. So cilia can move either a cell, or in the case of something multicellular, if this is multicellular, move things across cell. By the way, one of the things that a lot of people missed on this is they said that cell Z was prokaryotic, but are any of these cells prokaryotic?
Nope.
All 3 of them are eukaryotic. All right, so what is the type of cell that uses a lot of energy and moves things across it? What?
No.
So sperm cells actually have flagella, not cilia.
Flagella.
Mm-hmm.
Latin.
Who likes it?
Okay, what were you saying, Brenda?
But, it's a bacteria, right?
It's eukaryotic. Eukaryotic cells are not
Oh,
bacteria.
it's eukaryotic. That's actually wasn't eukaryotic.
It is eukaryotic. All 3 of them are eukaryotic. So
What has cilia?
inside your body, cells in the respiratory system. Use cilia to move mucus. And they need energy to do so.
I don't need no water, boy.
What happens when you get
Sick and you're always coughing up mucus?
that word starts with an M? You get water in your lungs?
That's pneumonia.
Pneumonia. What happens when you get pneumonia? What do they do?
So what
That's something
happens
you
is
clean the floor with.
Isn't that when you got too much water in your body?
when you have water in your lungs, that's keeping your alveoli, which are the place where oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange happens. That is covering them with water so they can't exchange that anymore. And so it kind of suffocates you from the inside. The cilia are not super strong. They can sweep up a layer of mucus to move up from where it's produced lower in the lungs to up like towards your trachea, but they're not strong enough to move fluid. It's like if you had your fingers and you were trying to move water out of a container.
Can you like,
You can only do so much.
can they fix it?
What they'll usually have to do is they'll have to, they can like put a
tube in you?
localized- yeah.
And then they gotta
puncture into
suck
your
it
lung
out?
And suck it out. But
Ooh.
you don't want to do that because you risk infection.
I don't even kill me. You gotta chop me up.
Okay.
Putting a
What
damn
about
tube
cell
in my
Y? What
body.
does it have a lot of?
You have to put one in your penis when you get older.
It don't hurt.
About a catheter?
Anything else?
Okay.
So it's got a lot of ER and it's got a lot of
pain-free ones. I
Golgi.
don't see nothing.
And he's
What do
40, I'm
those
gonna kill
guys
myself.
function in?
I'm not getting no fingers in my butt and no tubes in my penis. No.
Alright, so rough ER
What?
I don't know, tubes in my butt.
and Golgi package and transport
You know, the eye station.
proteins for export.
I'll be alive. She said I'll be alive, and now it was like, spell the word, I'll be alive. Remember eye station, Mish?
They asked me the same questions every year I went, so I think I was getting smarter.
So, rough ER and Golgi package and transport proteins for export. What is the type of cell that's making proteins and exporting
I
them?
can rip my shirt.
What is the type of cell that would make a lot of protein and then export them? Ribosomes are inside of a cell.
Oh, outside of the cell?
We're talking about a specific type of cell.
Oh, like a protein cell?
There's no such thing as a protein cell.
I don't know then.
Oh, Michael Wagner.
Is it
I'm tired.
You're not funny, dude.
No excuse.
I don't know.
Your face is funny.
So,
Boo, don't even stop.
cells
What's up?
in... Why did you...
Tell me,
You're like an anorexic television.
Boy, stand up. Stand up. Tight ass pants.
Would you quit cursing on my video?
I'm sorry.
He said rash.
Right
Scumbag.
next to it.
I'm sorry.
They can't hear us.
Apologize to the internet.
No. Not
Fine.
doing that.
Cells in glands that produce protein.
Breathe. Stand up and breathe.
Or, in this case, hormones.
That's how you walk.
And release them.
Watch.
I didn't phrase that right. That would be,
Walk
Um,
like you used to.
I'd probably add to that. Would use these
You walk like
organelles.
you used to it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
What?
Lester.
I saw you. I saw you.
I saw you too.
Look at cell Z.
Really?
What does it have?
I didn't look at anything.
Did you look at?
I looked at her face because she looked at me.
Cell Z has nothing.
Scumbag. I wasn't looking down.
What
at her.
type of cell would have
If I'm looking
none
at
of
some
those
ass, I'll
organelles?
just tell you I looked at her ass.
Alright,
I'm a
so
man. I'm
cell
ashamed of my
Z
game.
could be undergoing
Pussy boy.
apoptosis. What is apoptosis?
Program cell death.
Programmed cell death, and wouldn't need those organelles. A lot of people put that cell Z was
A rock?
was bacteria.
Oh.
Why would a cell be a rock?
Because it's dead. Look, you ain't got nothing absent of everything.
Rocks were never alive. Cells that are dead
Well,
were
they don't.
once-
Do rocks have smooth ER, rough ER, and mitochondria and all that?
No.
So I'm right there because they ain't got none of that.
Okay, so Z would be a rock.
No. It's a eukaryotic cell. Rocks are not made out of cells.
So what is Z? Nothing?
A eukaryotic rock.
It's a cell that's undergoing programmed cell death.
Okay, so what's Y? A rock?
None of them
None
are
of them are
rocks.
rocks.
They're eukaryotic.
So here's your scoring guide. By the way, your function for cell X, it could be used for movement,
You got 3
especially
points.
if it's like a protist. Or it could be used to move other things, like move mucus, like